हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, वेलकम टू ओमनी ज्ञान। मेरे चैनल ओमनी ज्ञान में आप सब लोगों का फिर से बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। सो स्टूडेंट्स, एज प्रॉमिस्ड आई विल बी सून स्टार्टिंग सोशल साइंस क्लास 10 स्टूडेंट्स। ओके, सो आई एम कीपिंग माय प्रॉमिस हियर एंड वी बिगिन विद द फर्स्ट chapter of history, the rise of nationalism in Europe, social science history, class 10 MBOS, and I'm going to do here a full explanation. But still, I would like to request all of you to please read your textbook, okay? Because your textbook contains a lot of information, okay? And for questions and answers, MCQs, short questions and answers, your textbook is going to help you a little more, okay? So we start with nationalism. So what is nationalism? See, nationalism is a strong feeling of love, pride, and unity that people have for their country. It brings people together based on shared history, culture, or language. It also supports the idea that a nation should govern itself and work for its own interest. तो nationalism का meaning यही है, a strong love, a feeling of love, pride and unity that people have for their country. Okay, and you know uh, we may belong to a different religion or a different community, but that we love our nation, that we are citizens of one particular nation, that is nationalism or nationalistic feeling actually. Okay, and when we share history, culture, language together unitedly, that also refers to nationalism. And it also supports the idea that any nation should govern itself, okay, should be independently governing itself and work for its own interests and welfares. This is the meaning of nationalism. Now we see how nationalism grew in started in Europe. Okay, so Europe was divided into many small kingdoms and empires. Okay, and there was no concept of a nation state. So earlier, you see, Europe was divided into small kingdoms and empires where kings used to rule. Okay, the monarch was in power, the king was in power. There was no concept of nation or a state. हम लोग पहले इसको नेशन या स्टेट नहीं बुलाते थे। यूरोप में किसी भी जगह को, प्लेस को नेशन या स्टेट नहीं बुलाया जाता था। उनको हम किंगडम से बुलाते थे, रूल बाय किंग्स, एंड एम्पायर्स रूल बाय एम्परर्स। ओके, and people were loyal to their kings or rulers, not to a nation. So people had to obey to the kings, or people had to obey to the rulers. There was no nationalistic feeling, there was no love for the country towards the nation. Okay, and society was divided into classes like nobles, clergy, पेजेंट्स। ओके, तो सोसाइटी को तीन क्लास में डिवाइड किया गया। ओके, जैसे नोबल्स, बड़े फैमिलीज जो होते हैं, नोबल फैमिलीज। ओके, क्लर्जी, that refers to the church. Okay, and peasants means farmers. Okay, so इन तीन divisions में divide किया गया society को. Now what are the factors responsible for the birth or growth of nationalism in Europe? See, the French Revolution in 1789 played a key role in starting nationalism. तो फ्रेंच रेवोल्यूशन जो कि 1789 में स्टार्ट हुआ था, वो एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर था इन द राइज ऑफ नेशनलिज्म, बिकॉज फ्रेंच रेवोल्यूशन इंट्रोड्यूस्ड आइडियाज लाइक लिबर्टी, equality and fraternity. Liberty मतलब freedom, equality means all citizens are equal, and fraternity means brotherhood. Okay, that we live in a united way. ठीक है, please remember the dates also, very important. Okay, now when this idea grew, okay, liberty, equality, fraternity, when this idea came into being, then people started thinking of themselves as citizens of a nation, not subjects of a king. तो जब ये आइडिया आया, जब ये कॉन्सेप्ट आया, लिबर्टी, इक्वलिटी एंड फ्रेटर्निटी, एट दैट टाइम यू सी सिटीजन स्टार्टेड thinking themselves as they are citizens of a nation. They are not subjects or slaves of a king, that they will have to obey the king, okay, or love the king or be loyal towards the king. They started thinking themselves as being loyal to the nation. Okay, now, the measures and practices of the French Revolution, where the idea of fatherland and citizen gave a collective identity to the French people. Okay, so because French Revolution, so we will first begin with the people of France. Okay, here, so the idea of fatherland, like in India, we say, we say motherland. In the same manner, the idea of fatherland and citizen gave a collective identity to the French people. So everybody started to be thought as equal, because the idea of fatherland, that is the country, the nation, and citizen, the people who live in the nation, they started sharing a collective identity. A feeling of unity started growing in the citizens, okay? And French became the common national language. तो वहां पे जो है French became the common national language. Next important is a constitution was prepared. Obviously, you see, constitution is what? Simply a book of rule or laws, written rule or laws. Okay. So a constitution was prepared which gave equal rights to all. ये बहुत important factor था. Then a new national flag. This is also very important. Any nation must have a national flag. All the countries, has a national flag. Okay. So a new national flag was chosen called the tricolor, and this replaced the old royal flag. Now you see, kings and emperors at that time used to have their royal flag, okay, that represented that kingdom. But here you see a common national flag was chosen, and it was called the tricolor. The name of the flag was called the tricolor, and this replaced the old royal flag. The flag that kings used to use were replaced by this tricolor flag. And then also a new national anthem called Marseillaise was adopted. So a new national anthem was also adopted called Marseillaise, and people started singing that national anthem. So you see, the unity started growing, people started loving their country, okay? And most importantly also there were new national holidays now. तो अब जो है national holidays भी introduce किया गया, where the births and deaths of important personalities, freedom fighters, martyrs, national heroes, on these days holidays were declared, okay? Or important event of that particular nation, okay, it was declared a holiday. ठीक है? Then point number 7 is a National Assembly was elected in place of the Estates General, which made uniform, that means equal laws for all French citizens. So in short, a National Assembly was elected. Okay, earlier there were Estates General. Okay, but अभी जो है एक National Assembly को elect किया गया, and which made equal laws for all French citizens. Okay. Then point number 8, a uniform system of weights and measures was adopted. Obviously, when you go something to buy in the market, you see the weighing machine there. So a uniform system of weights and measurement was also adopted, where no people can be fooled. Okay. And then this will be point number 9. Okay. Nationalism ended, one man's rule. Obviously the king was one man ruler, okay, one man who used to rule. That rule came to an end now, because nationalism came, and all people started to be treated equally. सब लोगों को जो है equally treat करने जाने लगा. Okay. Now another very important figure from history is Napoleon Bonaparte. Okay, role of Napoleon in this nationalistic, birth of nationalism. Napoleon Bonaparte spread nationalist ideas across Europe. Okay, he introduced the Napoleonic Code in 1804. That is, what were the code? Napoleonic Code क्या था? Equality before law, end of feudal system. That law is equal for all, and the feudal system would come to an end now. Okay, so everybody will be treated equally now. Okay. Though he ruled as a dictator, see, Napoleon was a dictator. He was also a kind of a one-man ruler only, okay, one ruler. But his reforms helped spread modern ideas of nationhood. ये जो nationalism के जो ideas है ना, the ideas of nationalism, it actually came from Napoleon only and the French Revolution. Okay, though he was a dictator, but his ideas of nationhood, actually ये जो अभी जो चल रहा है ना nation का idea जो, it came from Napoleon Bonaparte and French Revolution only. Now he did many reforms. उन्होंने बहुत reformations लाए, बहुत सारे rules को change किया, नए rules लाए. He brought new rules which helped the citizens, okay, and which considered the citizens equal. So his reforms were what? Number A, he improved the transport and communication system. Number B, he abolished the feudal system. The peasants and serfs became free now. Feudal system is like one person would be the owner of the land, and all the peasants and servants would be working under him as a bonded labor. That was abolished. वो जो है वो कम्प्लीटली अबॉलिश हो गया और पेजेंट्स एंड फार्मर्स सर्वेंट्स बिकेम फ्री. ओके, देर वाज नो बॉन्डेज सिस्टम नाउ. अब कोई बॉन्डेज सिस्टम नहीं रहा. एंड नंबर सी, फ्रीडम वॉज गिवन टू द पेजेंट्स, वर्कर्स, आर्टिसंस एंड बिजनेसमैन. तो सबको जो है फ्रीडम मिला. एवरीबडी गॉट फ्रीडम, लाइक यू नो, peasants, workers, artisans, okay, businessmen, everybody got freedom now. They were not under the king now. वो अब किंग के अंडर काम नहीं कर रहे थे. ठीक है, ओके. Let us understand the Congress of Vienna in 1815. Okay, now you see Napoleon was defeated. Obviously, every ruler's there is an expiry date. Okay, so after Napoleon's defeat, European powers met in the Congress of Vienna. Okay, it was led by Clemens von Metternich. Okay, this Congress of Vienna, the leader was Clemens von Metternich. Okay, याद रखिए ये नाम, please remember these names. Okay, then you see the rise of the middle class. अब जो है धीरे धीरे करके जो है हम देखेंगे कैसे करके नेशनलिज्म स्प्रेड हुआ एंड व्हाट वे द कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस. ओके, सो राइज ऑफ द न्यू मिडिल क्लास. Now here you see the aristocracy, that is rich landowners and nobles, okay, was the most powerful social and political class in Europe. So the aristocracy, that is aristocracy किसको बोला जाता था? Rich landowners and nobles, okay, the rich citizens of the country, okay, of Europe. They were the most powerful social and political class in Europe. Okay, most people in Europe were peasants who worked on farms. Now see, majority of the people in Europe were farmers actually who worked on farms. Okay, वो field में काम करते थे. Then you see industrialization first started in England during the second half of the 18th century. तो धीरे धीरे करके industrialization started in England during the second half of 18th century. तो 18th century के second half से industrialization start हुआ England में. Industrialization led to the creation of new social groups. Obviously, industrialization से क्या हुआ? Creation of new social groups. Now a working class emerged consisting mainly of factory workers and laborers. अब एक वर्किंग क्लास पैदा हुआ. नाउ अ वर्किंग क्लास emerged, and this working class consisted mainly of who? फैक्ट्री वर्कर्स एंड लेबरर्स. ओके, तो ये दो जो थे ये कंसिस्ट करते थे, ये थे ये वर्किंग क्लास. ओके, and a middle class also developed, including industrialists, businessmen and professionals such as doctors, lawyers, engineers. ठीक है, हम लोग थोड़ा सा पीछे जाते हैं. लेट्स गो बैक अ लिटिल बिट. वर्किंग क्लास थोड़ा सा लो में है, फैक्ट्री वर्कर्स एंड लेबरर्स इसके थोड़े से ऊपर है. मतलब एरिस्टोक्रेसी एट द टॉप लेवल, देन कम्स वर्किंग क्लास, और इसके नीचे इसके ऊपर, आई एम सॉरी, एरिस्टोक्रेसी इज ऑन द टॉप, मिडिल क्लास विल बी एट द मिडिल एंड वर्किंग क्लास विल बी एट द बॉटम. ओके, तो एक मिडिल क्लास भी पैदा हुआ अभी. मिडिल क्लास ऑल्सो डेवलप्ड, इंक्लूडिंग इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट, बिजनेसमैन ऑल्सो. ओके, एंड प्रोफेशनल्स लाइक डॉक्टर्स, लॉयर्स, इंजीनियर्स, इनसे बना मिडिल क्लास. ओके, नाउ वी कम टू द अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ द स्प्रेड ऑफ लिबरलिज्म. अब इसका मीनिंग क्या है? द वर्ड लिबरलिज्म कम्स फ्रॉम द लैटिन वर्ड लिबर विच मीन्स फ्री. ओके, now liberalism emphasized the idea of freedom and individual rights. Liberty means free. इसका मतलब क्या? the idea of freedom and the individual rights, जो अधिकार हमें मिलना चाहिए, फ्रीडम और अधिकार जो है ये दोनों को मिलकर बना लिबरलिज्म. ओके, नाउ यहाँ पे क्या था एक्चुअली? ओनली मेन हु ओन्ड प्रॉपर्टी वर अलाउड टू वोट एंड कॉन्टेस्ट इलेक्शन. तो ओनली मेन. ओके, यहाँ पे वुमेन राइट्स बहुत कम था उस टाइम पे. देयर वेर नो women राइट्स. अगर हम देखें तो ओनली मेन हु ओन्ड प्रॉपर्टी, जिनके पास प्रॉपर्टी था, वेर अलाउड टू वोट एंड कॉन्टेस्ट इलेक्शंस. ओके, देन men without property, अब जिस men के पास प्रॉपर्टी नहीं है, he was not given any political rights. He could not vote also, he could not contest elections also. And what about the status of women? Women were not allowed. Okay, they were excluded from voting and other political rights. So women, प्रॉपर्टी हो ना हो, उनको एक्सक्लूड किया गया, उनको अलग रखा गया, उनको डिनाई किया गया, रिफ्यूज किया गया फ्रॉम वोटिंग एंड अदर पॉलिटिकल राइट्स लाइक कॉन्टेस्टिंग इलेक्शंस, etc., etc. Okay, now what happened in 1834? A customs union called the Zollverein was formed by Prussia. तो 1834 में एक यूनियन फॉर्म हुआ. उस यूनियन को बोला गया क्या? Zollverein. ओके, ये फॉर्म किया गया किससे? बाय प्रूशिया. ओके, एंड मोस्ट ऑफ द जर्मन स्टेट्स ज्वाइंड द यूनियन. देखिए, हम धीरे धीरे फ्रांस से हम आए इंग्लैंड की तरफ. और हम इंग्लैंड से अब बढ़ रहे हम लोग जर्मनी की तरफ. ओके, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ओके, दिस शिफ्ट. ओके, सो मोस्ट ऑफ द जर्मन स्टेट्स नाउ जॉइन दिस ज़ोल्वेरिन यूनियन. ठीक है. नाउ व्हाट वाज द बेनिफिट्स और व्हाट वर द बेनिफिट्स ऑफ दिस ज़ोल्वेरिन यूनियन? अब ज़ोल्वेरिन यूनियन ने क्या किया? इट रिमूव टैक्स. ओके, टैरिफ, टैक्स बैरियर्स बिटवीन मेंबर स्टेट्स. एक स्टेट्स के साथ जो भी स्टेट्स इस ज़ोल्वेरिन के मेंबर्स थे उनसे टैक्स बैरियर हटा दिया गया. ओके, टैक्स हटा दिया गया. ओके, टैक्स वाज रिमूव. दैट मीन्स व्हाट? बिजनेस, कॉमर्स, ट्रेड बिकेम इजियर एंड फास्टर. ओके, जब टैक्स नहीं रहेगा, लेकिन ओनली फॉर मेंबर्स. ओके, रिमेंबर, ओनली फॉर द मेंबर स्टेट्स. जो स्टेट्स मेंबर्स थे इस ज़ोल्वेरिन यूनियन के, ओके, सिर्फ उनसे ही रिमूव किया गया टैक्स. ओके, सो ट्रेड बिकेम इजियर एंड फास्टर. नाउ द नंबर ऑफ डिफरेंट करेंसीज वाज रिड्यूस्ड फ्रॉम मोर देन 30 टू ओनली 2, making business and trade more convenient. Okay, so there were different currencies actually. So there were more than 30 currencies and it was removed to only 2 types of currencies for making business and trade more convenient, easier. ठीक है. 30 करेंसीज. 30 करेंसीज तो आपको पता है, जैसे इंडिया में रुपी है, अमेरिका में डॉलर्स है. ओके, सो देयर वर 30 डिफरेंट करेंसीज. ओके, तो बिजनेस करना बहुत मुश्किल होता था. इट वाज डिफिकल्ट टू डू बिजनेस. सो दैट वाज रिड्यूस्ड टू ओनली 2 करेंसीज एंड दैट मेड बिजनेस एंड ट्रेड इजियर, मोर कन्वीनियंट, राइट? अब आते हैं हम लोग न्यू कॉन्जर्वेटिज्म पे. ओके, न्यू कॉन्जर्वेटिज्म इन 1815 यूरोपियन गवर्नमेंट्स फॉलोड कंजर्वेटिज्म. ओके, अब फिर से जो है कंजर्वेटिज्म जो है वो किंग्स को सपोर्ट करने लगे. दे स्टार्टेड सपोर्टिंग द किंग्स, द फॉलोअर्स ऑफ कंजर्वेटिज्म. ओके, कंजर्वेटिस्ट्स. तो कंजर्वेटिव्स और कंजर्वेटिस्ट सपोर्टेड मोनार्की, दैट इज द किंग. दे सपोर्टेड द चर्च, द सोशल हायरार्की. सोशल हायरार्की मतलब एरिस्टोक्रेटिक लेवल, फिर मिडिल क्लास लेवल, फिर सबसे बॉटम पे आएगा आपका वर्किंग क्लास. ये हायरार्की में डिवाइड होने लगा. इक्वलिटी अगेन वाज नॉट गिवन मच इंपॉर्टेंस. पीपल वेर treated discriminated on the basis of their social class. Okay, then private property ownerships also, family values also, all these were supported by conservatives. Okay, that is why हम अभी भी बोलते हैं, we still say if somebody has a very traditional mentality, old mentality, we say ये family कितना conservative है. Like say for example, many families do not allow love marriages. Okay, they go for arranged marriages. You cannot fall in love, so we often say this family is very conservative family. Okay, so conservative जो है इन सारे elements को support करते थे. They used to support all these elements. Please remember this. Okay, they believed that a strong army, efficient administration, good economy, and the end of feudalism and serfdom would strengthen monarchies. Okay, now they believe that strong army जो है, फिर efficient administration, okay, from the departments, political departments, okay, good economy, and end of feudalism and serfdom also. मतलब कोई जो है servant बन के किसी को serve कर रहा है. Somebody is a servant and serving somebody without getting any equal rights. Okay, all this should go away. Okay, and this would only strengthen monarchies. Okay, तो सबसे ऊपर है monarchies. In 1815, leaders of Britain, Russia, Prussia, and Austria met at the Congress of Vienna to reorganize Europe. Okay, so 1815 में फिर से एक Congress of Vienna हुआ. Why? To reorganize Europe, and leaders from which countries? Britain, Russia, Prussia, and Austria. They met at this Congress of Vienna once again to reorganize. फिर से यूरोप को ऑर्गेनाइज करना चाहते थे वो लोग. The Bourbon dynasty was restored in France. France lost the territories it had gained under Napoleon Bonaparte. Okay, liberal nationalists opposed the conservative system, and their main demand was freedom of the press. अब ये जो कांग्रेस ऑफ वियना था, इसके अंदर क्या हुआ कि द बर्बन डायनेस्टी वाज रिस्टोर्ड इन फ्रांस. बर्बन डायनेस्टी जो टूट चुका था उसको फिर से रिस्टोर किया गया. France lost many territories that it had gained during the rule of Napoleon. Then there were liberal nationalists. They opposed the conservative system completely. Okay, हमें conservatism नहीं चाहिए, सबको equality मिलना चाहिए. Okay, they demanded this, and their main demand was freedom of the press. Press मतलब at that time there were no cameras and social medias and all these things. Printing, okay, printed press was the main thing. So freedom of the press was their main demand also, that press should be free to cover any news, any corruption, okay, found in the government or in the monarch or by the rulers, okay. So the main demand was freedom of the press. Now we come to unification of Germany. See, Germany comprised of 200 small kingdoms, each ruled by a prince. तो जर्मनी का जो है 200 छोटा किंगडम्स था और हर किंगडम को रूल करता था एक किंग, ओके. नेपोलियन हैड कॉन्कर्ड देम एंड यूनाइटेड एज 39 स्टेट्स. तो नेपोलियन ने इन सबको कॉन्कर किया, जीत लिया और उनको जो है यूनाइट किया एज 39 स्टेट्स, okay. And who was the main person to do this thing? It was Otto von Bismarck, the Prussian chief minister, who became the main architect of German unification. तो ये जो यूनिफिकेशन है इसको जो है यू नो इन 200 किंगडम्स को एक साथ 39 स्टेट्स में सिर्फ लाने वाले जो मेन आर्किटेक्ट, द मेन आर्किटेक्ट वाज ऑटो वॉन Bismarck, a very important name, okay, please remember this. He was the Prussian chief minister and he was the one who was the main architect of the German unification. इन सारे किंगडम्स को 39 स्टेट्स में जो ना लाने वाले थे वो थे ऑटो वॉन बिस्मार्क, ओके. अब बिस्मार्क फॉलोड द पॉलिसी ऑफ ब्लड एंड आयरन यूजिंग मिलिटरी स्ट्रेंथ एंड वास टू यूनाइट जर्मनी. अब इसके पास देखिए, you know, there was no soft talkings or nothing like that. He believed in this blood and iron wala policy, okay. It is mentioned in your book also. He believed in the blood and iron wala policy where he used extreme military power and he did a lot of wars to unite Germany. अब हम आते हैं डैनिश वॉर पे, दैट इज अ वॉर ऑफ डेनमार्क इन 1864. प्रूशिया एंड ऑस्ट्रिया डिफीटेड डेनमार्क एंड गेन्ड श्लेस्विग, ओके, एंड होल्स्टीन, ओके. तो प्रूशिया और ऑस्ट्रिया में, प्रूशिया और ऑस्ट्रिया इन दोनों ने मिलके डेनमार्क को हराया और दो जगह ले लिया, श्लेस्विग एंड होल्स्टीन, ओके. नाउ Austria, that is Austro and Prussian War in 1866. Prussia now defeated Austria. यहाँ पे आप देखिए, Prussia and Austria, they were together who defeated Denmark, and now conflict arose and there was a war now between Prussia and Austria in 1866. Prussia defeated Austria, okay, and they removed the Austrian influence from German affairs. So Prussia ने Austria को हराया 1866 में and they removed the Austrian influence from German affairs. तो पहले जो है in Germany there were Austrian influence also, but that Prussia removed completely, okay. Then next, very important, Franco-Prussian War from 1870 to 1871, a period of 1 year. Prussia defeated now France also, encouraging the southern German states to join the union. ठीक है, ये जो कांग्रेस ऑफ वियना था, इस यूनियन को ज्वाइन करने के लिए प्रूशिया डिफीटेड नाउ फ्रांस एंड साउदर्न जर्मन स्टेट्स को ज्वाइन करवाया, encouraging the southern German states to join the Congress of Vienna, okay. अब आते हैं आगे. On 18 January 1871, the German Empire was officially proclaimed at the Palace of Versailles in France. Okay, तो 18 January 1871 में the German Empire was officially proclaimed at the Palace of Versailles in France, and King William I of Prussia was declared the first German emperor. तो proclamation मतलब क्या होता है? जब आप कोई नया राजा चुनते हैं, when you select a new king. Okay, so King William I was of Prussia was declared the first German emperor. ठीक है, in the palace of at the Palace of Versailles in France. So thus the many German states were united into one powerful nation now called Germany under the Prussian leadership. तो अभी जो हम प्रेजेंट जर्मनी देखते हैं वो डिफरेंट जर्मन स्टेट्स को यूनाइट किया गया इनटू वन पावरफुल नेशन, दैट इज वी कॉल जर्मनी, एंड दिस वाज डन अंडर द प्रूशियन लीडरशिप. और सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट कौन थे, मैं थोड़ा पीछे लेके चलता हूँ आपको, ये थे ऑटो वॉन बिस्मार्क. आप इसको याद रखिए बिकॉज ही वॉज द मेन आर्किटेक्ट बिहाइंड जर्मन यूनिफिकेशन. ठीक है, अब आते हैं हम लोग यूनिफिकेशन ऑफ इटाली में. ओके, नाउ इटाली वाज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कंट्री एट दैट पीरियड फॉर द रेनेसा. ओके, और it is spelt as Renaissance, okay, but we call it Renaissance, okay. Italy was divided into several separate states before unification. Same चीज हुआ, देखिए टुकड़ों टुकड़ों में बटा था. It was divided into several states, separate states before the unification, and it had different many kingdoms under different dukes. बहुत सारे ड्यूक्स थे, बहुत सारे किंगडम्स थे. देयर वर मेनी किंगडम्स रूल्ड बाय डिफरेंट ड्यूक्स. ठीक है. Big powers like Austria, Spain, and France dominated it. Okay, now these separate states were, dominated by, ruled by big powers like Austria, Spain, France. Okay, and after the defeat of Napoleon, Italy was again divided. जब नेपोलियन डिवाइड हो गया तो इटाली फिर से जो है डिवाइडेड हो गया. And several important people received several places. Okay, बहुत सारे लोगों को जो है बहुत सारे places फिर से मिल गया. जैसे कि the Pope received the papal states. The king of Sardinia got back the kingdom of Piedmont and the island of Sardinia. The Spanish king को क्या मिला? The Spanish king recovered the kingdom of Naples and Sicily. तो ये आप याद रखिए. ओके, पोप गॉट पेपल स्टेट्स, किंग ऑफ सर्डिनिया गॉट बैक हिज किंगडम ऑफ पिएडमोंट एंड आइलैंड ऑफ सर्डिनिया, एंड स्पेनिश किंग को क्या मिला? ही रिकवर्ड द किंगडम ऑफ नेपल्स एंड सिसिली. ठीक है. नाउ व्हाट आर द मेन स्टेजेस ऑफ यूनिफिकेशन? एक्सट्रीमली इंपॉर्टेंट, लेट मी टेल यू. ओके, अब Giuseppe Mazzini, okay, it is not Giuseppe Mazzini, okay, it is Giuseppe Mazzini, okay, Mazzini founded Young Italy and Young Europe. Okay, a fresh Italy and a fresh Europe. Okay, promoted the Italian nationalism and unity. So it was him who promoted the the Italian nationalism and unity. Okay, early revolts 1831 to 1848 failed but inspired people. So there were revolutions also, there were revolts also from 1831 to 1848, but it failed. Okay, but still that inspired people. Okay, then we come to Count Cavour, chief minister of Sardinia, Piedmont. Okay, so Count Cavour was the chief minister of Sardinia, Piedmont. He formed an alliance with France in 1859 and he defeated Austria and gained Lombardy. ये तीन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है, इसको आप थोड़ा देख लीजिएगा. Then we come to Giuseppe Garibaldi. Okay, the sword, he was known called the sword. Okay, उसको तलवार कहा जाता था. He was the leader of the volunteer army and this volunteer army was called the Red Shirts. ठीक है. He conquered southern Italy in 1860 and he handed the conquered territories to Victor Emmanuel II. ठीक है. तो उन्होंने क्या किया? उन्होंने साउदर्न इटाली को 1860 में कॉन्कर किया, जीत लिया, एंड ही हैंडेड द कॉन्कर्ड टेरिटोरीज, जो टेरिटोरीज उन्होंने जीता था साउदर्न इटाली में, दैट ही हैंडेड ओवर टू विक्टर इमैनुअल II. ठीक है. ओके, now completion of the unification. So let's learn the important dates. In 1861 Victor Emmanuel II became the first king of united Italy. याद रखना आप इसको. 1866 में Venice was added to Italy and in 1870 Rome was annexed. Rome को add किया गया, completing unification. So Rome was also added with Italy. Okay, Rome was also added to Italy. ठीक है. सो इन तीनों इंपॉर्टेंट डेट्स को आप थोड़ा सा ध्यान में रखना. ओके, इटली. ओके ओके, सो रोम को इटाली में ऐड किया गया. ओके, इसके बाद यूनिफिकेशन प्रोसेस जो है वो कंप्लीट हो चुका. द यूनिफिकेशन प्रोसेस कंप्लीटेड हियर. नाउ पोर्ट्रेयल ऑफ अ नेशन. अब इतना सब कुछ हंगामा हुआ, फ्रेंच रेवोल्यूशन हुआ, फिर यूनिफिकेशन ऑफ जर्मनी हुआ, यूनिफिकेशन ऑफ इटाली हुआ, सो मेनी थिंग्स हैपन. नेपोलियन बोनापार्ट गॉट डिफीटेड. ओके, lots of important figures came, they got back their lost kingdoms. Okay, wars happened, many things occurred. But what about the nation? 18th और 19th century में what did people think about the nation? अब नेशन का जो है एक बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग क्या हुआ? बहुत सारे नियम्स, many rules were changed, many laws were brought, rejected, again brought. So what is the portrayal of a nation? ये nation का picture क्या है अभी? Basically in the 18th and 19th centuries. So in the 18th and 19th centuries, artists often showed countries as human figures. जैसे we call fatherland, motherland, right? So That means what? Mother means what? Okay, human figure. So in 18th and 19th centuries, those who were painters and artists, they often painted the countries showing human figures. And nations were usually represented as women. तो nations को usually एक women figure में represent किया गया in the figure of a picture of a woman. Okay. Like say for example during the French Revolution, female figures symbolized ideas like liberty, justice and the republic. हम लोग जानेंगे इसको. We will now study okay what are the symbols, what are the symbols used and which symbol meant what. कौन से symbol का क्या meaning है. So female figures symbolized ideas like liberty, justice and republic. Okay, and it happened during the French Revolution. Now you see liberty. Liberty was shown with a red cap or a broken chain. Liberty को कभी-कभी दिखाया गया with a, it was picturized or statues were made or paintings were done showing red cap or broken chain. Justice was painted or sculpted as a blindfolded woman holding weighing scales that we use in our Indian courts also. आप देखते हैं ना justice का जो figure है, आँख blindfolded women holding weighing scales in hand. So that concept came from there only, okay, here only. ये जो concept है ये यही से आया. 18th और 19th सेंचुरी में जस्टिस को कैसे करके जो पिक्चर बनाया गया, द पिक्चर्स दैट वर मेड और स्टैचूज दैट वर मेड, ओके, इट वाज शोन एज इफ it was shown like a blinded woman holding weighing scales. So we will now study elaborately the symbols that were used for a nation in Germany. अब देखते हैं हम लोग. Now broken chains. अब broken chains का मतलब क्या है? ये जो हमने देखा यहाँ पे liberty was shown with a red cap or a broken chain. What is the meaning of this broken chain? Okay. So broken chain symbolized freedom from oppression, occupation and slavery. So broken chain symbolized what? It symbolized freedom from all kinds of tortures, oppressions. Occupation matlab, I am king, so my son also will be the king. This concept is wrong. Okay. Or I am a farmer, my son or daughter will also have to become a farmer. This concept was wrong. Okay. So it wanted freedom from this kind of occupation also and slavery. Okay. When we work, we get our equal wages. We get a equal pay. Okay. Crown of oak leaves represented heroism, courage, strength and endurance, tolerance. ठीक है, तो crown of oak leaves. Sword with olive branches stands for peace. तलवार के ऊपर अगर olive branch होगा, that stands for peace. Then black, red and gold colors. Okay. ये क्या represent करता है? Flag of the liberal nationalist in 1848, but it was later banned by the German dukes. Okay. तो तीन कलर के फ्लैग बनते थे, ब्लैक, रेड एंड गोल्ड कलर्स. ओके, दिस फ्लैग वाज ऑफ द लिबरल नेशनलिस्ट्स इन 1848. ये फ्लैग जो है ये लिबरल नेशनलिस्ट यूज करते थे 1848 में, बट इट वाज लेटर बैंड बाय द जर्मन ड्यूक. तो जर्मन ड्यूक्स ने इसको बाद में जाके बैन कर दिया पूरा. ओके, ये नहीं चलेगा, नया फ्लैग लगाओ. And then eagle on the breastplate represented German power, authority and sovereignty. तो eagle अगर breastplate में अगर eagle का sculpting है, that represented German power, authority and sovereignty. And last one is rays of the rising sun. It showed the beginning of a new era. Okay, so sun is about to rise and rays have come out, the sun rays have come out. That symbolized what? That showed what? The beginning of a new era. Okay. And now the last one that we're going to do is nationalism and imperialism. Okay. In 1871, nationalism became weaker and more complicated in Europe. The Balkans region, including countries like Romania, Bulgaria, Greece, Serbia and others became the most troubled area. तो 1871 आते आते nationalism बहुत weak हो गया और बहुत complicated हो गया यूरोप में. Balkan regions जो है, basically the Balkan names come from the Balkan mountain range. Okay, the Balkan regions, कौन-कौन से countries थे Balkan regions में? Romania, Bulgaria, Greece, Serbia and some other countries. They became the most troubled area. Okay, this whole concept of nationalism जो है ये weak पड़ गया, ये complicated हो गया. Okay, और ये सब country जो है सबसे जो भुगतने वाला country, the most troubled countries were these, the Balkan region. Okay. Then the decline of the Ottoman Empire created instability in the Balkans. तो बल्कन में जो है Ottoman Empire गिर चुका था, decline हो चुका था. That created instability in the Balkan countries. Then Balkan countries tried to modernize and become stronger, but conflicts continued. तो Balkan countries जो है वो अपने आप को modernize करना चाहते थे. They wanted to modernize themselves. They wanted to become stronger, but again there were several conflicts that continued. European powers competed fiercely for trade, colonies, military strength, and naval power. So European countries started rising. They started doing competition very wildly. Okay, they wanted to do trade, business. They wanted to capture colonies. They wanted to increase their military strength, power. Okay, and also their naval power. तो उस टाइम पे यूरोपियन पावर्स भी आगे आने लगे, कॉम्पीट करने लगे और बहुत वाइल्ड तरीके से कॉम्पीट करने लगे. ओके, दिस राइवलरी लेड टू सेवरल वॉर्स इन बाल्कन्स. ये जो राइवलरी उस वक्त, एनिमिटी उस वक्त पैदा हुआ, दिस लेड टू सेवरल वॉर्स इन बाल्कन्स. ओके, इन द बाल्कन्स. और यही राइवलरी जो है, दिस लेड इन 1914, दिस लेड टू द फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर. सो इन 1914 नेशनलिज्म कंबाइंड विथ इंपेरियलिज्म हेल्प ट्रिगर द फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर. तो ये नेशनलिज्म के चक्कर में जो है, countries started, countries wanted more power. They wanted to colonialize. That means what? They wanted to capture other countries to do business, to do, to capture, to increase their power. This led to the First World War in 1914. Okay. Anti-imperialist movement also emerged, but many struggled to become independent nations. ओके, तो एंटी इंपेरियलिज्म मतलब क्या है? किसी कंट्री को कैप्चर करके उस पर रूल करना, बस यही चीज है. ओके, लाइक ब्रिटिश कैप्चर्ड इंडिया. ओके, इंपेरियलिस्ट कंट्री ब्रिटिश. सो एंटी इंपेरियलिस्ट मूवमेंट्स आल्सो ग्रू देयर. ओके, इट इमर्ज्ड, बट यू सी some nations could do it because of power, but many countries who were weak, they could not be independent nations. Okay, वो independent nations नहीं बन पाए. And finally, despite these problems, the idea of nation state became widely accepted as natural and universal. देखिए, इन सबके वार्स के बावजूद, okay, despite all these wars, all these conflicts, this idea of nation state still exists, right? And this idea of nation state, it became widely accepted. We also call ourselves a nation. Say Meghalaya is a state. So this idea of nation state, okay, this is widely accepted and it has become natural and universal to all of us globally around the world. Okay, so this is the explanation of the rise of nationalism in Europe. Factors responsible for the rise of nationalism in Europe: we have unification of Germany, unification of Italy, okay, then the rise of industrialism, concept of nationalism. So all these are very important to study. I just gave you some inputs, but please take help of the textbook when you are watching this video. If required, you watch the video, half. Today you watch half, or 30% you watch today, tomorrow you watch 30%. In this way you watch and try to understand the concept. Okay, it will help you for MCQs also, short questions and answers, and help you in understanding the concept fully. So now that I have started social science, your next chapter will be non-cooperation and civil disobedience movements led in India. That I will be explaining you soon. I am almost on the verge of completing it. Okay, so with that, I would like to request all of you to please subscribe to the channel, like and share my videos, and follow me on Instagram and Facebook also. And I would like to request all of you, please subscribe to my new channel Omni Gyan Shorts. मैं वहाँ पे ज्ञान की बातें बहुत करता हूँ और वो नॉलेज का पावर हाउस है जहाँ मैं आपको वैरायटी ऑफ फैक्ट्स के ऊपर नॉलेज देता हूँ. सो प्लीज़ सब्सक्राइब टू दैट चैनल ऑल्सो एंड give me the love that you had been giving me for all these years. And now that I have started with social science for class 10, so class 10 students, आप बिल्कुल टेंशन फ्री हो जाइए. आपका ओमनी ज्ञान आपके लिए लेके आया है fully packed explanation, full explanation of social science. After your civil disobedience and non-cooperation movement, I'll be moving on to either geography or civics. तो चिंता करने की कोई ज़रूरत नहीं. फुल मार्क्स आपको मिलेगा. दिसंबर में आपका एग्जाम है. डोंट वरी एट ऑल व्हेन ओमनी ज्ञान इज देयर. सो विद दैट, आई वुड लाइक टू thank all of you for watching the video with this much. I would like to take leave from all of you with love from Omni Gyan, and all the best to all of you. Thank you so much.